Thank you. This is W4GCM with the Gulf Coast Mullet Society AM Radio Net. Are there any general announcements for the net? If so, come now with your full call sign phonetically.
Kilo Fox 4 Tango X-Ray Quebec.
KF4TXQ. Hello, Sam. Go ahead with your announcement.
Thank you very much, Art. Good to hear you on. You're sounding great tonight. We're going to have a Sam Fest on Saturday. On Saturday the 16th at Poplar Dogs, just south of Dadeville. And if you think you might can make it, I'm sorry for the late announcement, but all these things converge to do us in. But anyway, it's all right. We're going to do the best we can with what we got left. There's a web blog, W4AMI.org. And if you want directions and everything, it's on there for you. Thanks to WB4GWA, the blog master. So, anyhow, thanks a lot there, Art. Looking forward to the net. KF4TXQ.
Okay, Sam. This is W4GCM. Well, don't run off too far. My computer is acting up. I don't want to save that. There we go. Okay. Well, Sam, Saturday, November 16th at Poplar Dogs. And further information is on the W4AM.org website. Directions are available there. I sure hope a lot of folks can make it. I know that's a lot of fun. I certainly have heard good things about it from past gatherings. Don't go too far there, Sam. Are there any stations wishing to list items for sale or items that are needed? Come with your call sign. Nothing heard. KF4TXQ, Sam, do you have the official Gulf Coast Mullet Society Mystic Statement? Can you make that, please?
Roger, I'll be glad to and honored to. This is KF4TXQ, and here's the official Gulf Coast Mullet Society Mystic Statement. The mullet has a gizzard like a chicken. Could it be that the mullet is a chicken of the sea? KF4TXQ, back to this. Over.
Thank you, Sam. This is W4GCM with the Gulf Coast Mullet Society Net. Let's take 30 seconds to tune up our rigs, and we'll continue afterwards. This is W4GCM. Oh boy, the band's good tonight. Loud carriers. This is W4GCM. At this time, we'll stand by for QRP or mobile stations. Please come with your call sign. And got your handle KB4RSX QRP. Any other QRP or mobile station? Well, Randall, we'll get you in just a minute. You're at the top. You and Sam. Let me get the standard list. We'll now take general check-ins for the Gulf Coast Mullet Society this evening, beginning with kilos, then Novembers, whiskeys, and alpha prefixes. Let's see. Standing by for kilo call signs. This is W4GCM.
K4VZS.
Hotel Victoria.
Kilo 5 Hotel Foxtrot Golf.
Acknowledging K4VZS, K4KHV, K5HFG, and KW4TV. Additional K call signs. Okay, we'll now go to November. November call signs. Please come with your call.
November 4, Alpha, Kilo, T4, AK.
Acknowledging N4AK. There was another one in there, but I didn't get it. Come again, please.
N4OYT.
Acknowledging N4OYT. Okay. Any more N call signs? Nothing heard. We'll now go down to whiskey call signs. This is W4GCM.
GUZ, W4GUZ.
Yeah, this is WA4KM.
Whiskey 4, India Delta Delta.
W4GUZ.
WA4FUU.
Whiskey 4, Tango Papa.
Whiskey Bravo 4 Kilo Juliet.
Okay, I missed a couple, so please listen closely. Acknowledging W4GUZ. WA4IIA. I may have the prefix wrong. Let's see, let me make that W4IIA. 4KM. W4IDD. W4OLC. WA4FUU. W4TP. WB4KKJ. Additional whiskey call signs.
W9TAB.
Yeah, W9TAB. Well, Virgil, I got your call wrong. I know it's W4OLJ. Can't read my writing. Let's see. And let's see, I believe that's about it. Alpha call signs. Alpha call signs for the net. This is W4GCM.
Hello, Art. Alpha Fox 10 F10.
I got you, Mark AF1Z. You were just knocking me out. Additional alpha call signs. Okay, well, we'll start with this. The Trivia Master, Joe, K4JCP, is not on right now. He's in the process of relocating to Ringgold, Georgia. I did talk to him, and he's not moved in yet. They're redoing inside of the house a little bit, and he expects to get started in a couple of days. So that's the latest on Joe. He usually provides trivia, and don't have anything from him. So I will just ask the question, a simple question. What was your first AM rig when you got back on or first got on the AM? Let's see. First, let me get up to Sam and get his comment. K4TXQ from W4GCM.
Mighty fine, Art. W4GCM in the Gulf Coast Mullets. This is KF4TXQ, Dadeville, Alabama. Well, my first AM rig was a good old DX40. It ran every bit of about 35 to 40 watts, and that was my first AM rig. And of course, I was on other rigs when I was a Tech Plus and so forth. But anyway, it didn't take me long. I upgraded to a General, and as soon as I upgraded to a General, I got on the air with my trusty old DX100. Pardon me. Good to hear you, Art. You're doing well. Back to W4GCM, KF4TXQ.
KF4TXQ, W4GCM. You sure started off in fine fashion with good old Heathkit equipment. I guess I have to say that I started off too. Mostly it was 6 meters. It was a Heathkit 6er. And then when I got my General, I got on with a Globe Scout. Let's see. Now this is should be an interesting contact. Randall, what are you running tonight? KB4 RSX from W4GCM. KB4 RSX from W4GCM. Well, your Retro 75 is doing fine. I have a fairly high noise level tonight, so it's competing with you. Normally, I would not have much competition, but your signal strength is S9 to 10 over, but my noise level is right below S9. But I got you solid. And real neat on the T150 and SX24. Boy, those are good rigs. Well, let's see. Let me start off with the K's here. Get John in here. And John, hope you're doing well. You're just knocking me out like you usually do. Sounding good. K4VZS from W4GCM.
W4GCM, K4VZS. Well, I'm on that's kilowatt. And Art, my first one was an ABATD. And it had 6 car batteries in series to run it. But that was back in 1950, and I wasn't much around. And I operated surplus for quite a while. But we had a lot of that acquire in Tampa at a reasonable price. That's under $5 for me. But in the house was an ATD out in the mobile unit. When I got it going was an ARC 5. And then when VHF started coming along, it was an SCR 522. And I don't suppose too many people will remember them. I turned that HRO60 back to where the noise level just disappeared. And everybody is still booming in here. I don't know. It's quiet here tonight. I could copy Randall with no trouble. Say hello to Mark. It's good to hear from you the day. And I hope we can get together here one day. W4GCM, K4VZS. K4VZS from U4JK.
Interesting collection of stuff you got on with there, John. I'm not familiar with the early station. I am familiar with the SCR 522. There were a few of them on 2 meters, I think, when I was first getting on. But, man, back then, I mean, people didn't have a lot of money for ham gear back in the 50s, but there was a lot of surplus, and it sure did get pressed into service. And it's nice that there's a lot of that still around, like the DC-610s, for example, and the ART-13s. Let's see, let me get on to Jimmy and see what he's up to tonight. K4KHV from W4GCM.
Good evening, Art. That's K4KHV. Well, we got everybody tonight. I don't know if it's sold right there. We didn't get a good signal on this morning, this afternoon, though. But Dan was a little squirrely earlier. Copy manual over on the 500 and Randall on his QRP, making a good signal over here in Mariana. We had a good day, a little windy, a little cool, but everything's going all right. First rig here was a 6146. Cost $3.25. Oscillator was a 6AG7. And we built a little modulator part. Got it going on over here. And that was the same rig we operated CW on for a long time, well, about a year, as a novice. And then when we upgraded, we skipped the technician class, so we didn't let anybody around on the VHF bands back in the 50s where I was raised. And later on, we did get an SCR 522 going in the early 60s, about 62, after 63. Had 832 in the pile, and about 8 or 10 watts. In fact, I still got the old thing out there in the barn in the milk house. So we've enjoyed all that old stuff, Art 5s, AVT 112s, a little aircraft transmitters, some mobile. But a lot of old stuff there, I'm sure a lot of people have. Appreciate you calling the net there, Art. We won't be able to go to the Sam Fest. We wish we could, but not going to be able to make that. But I do appreciate you calling the net there. And we'll be around listening a little while there. W4GCM, K4KHV.
K4KHV from W4GCM. Jimmy, you are very loud tonight. But then everybody is. One of those fortunate nights with good conditions. Man, that's a good memory. Homebrew 6146 with a price tag of $325. My novice rig was a 6146. But by then, inflation had gotten it all the way up to $5. So I'm figuring you got on before 1960. But, never did run AM with that rig. Anyway, good to have you in here tonight. Sorry you won't make the Sam Fest. I don't think Kate and I will be able to make it either, but I know there'll be plenty of folks here. Let's see. Get back to the list. Oh, we got Don coming up. Over to you there, Don. K5HFG, W4GCM.
W4GCM, this is K5HFG. Good evening, Art and the net. You sound good tonight, Art. I was surprised when all this solar activity today. You come on the air and blew me out. Good signal. Everybody's sounding extra good tonight. I don't know if that solar activity recharged everybody or what, but it's surprisingly quiet and big signals. My first one was a DX60. And you know, about 12 years ago, I found one at a ham fest. Guy said it worked fine, so I brought it home and repaired it because it did not work at all. And I still have it here. I've rebuilt a couple of them over the last couple of years. And I'll tell you what, it is quite a rig for not being much bigger than a shoebox. And it does nice CW work. That's what I usually use it for, but I have put it on AM on the air, and I've had quite a bit of fun with it again. Other than that, everybody's sounding good. It's getting cold outside again. Well, not tonight so much as 50 degrees. It's supposed to go down in the 30s again tonight. I can't wait till spring. I wish fall here too early, and I'm ready to go back to spring already. 73, everybody. W4GCM, K5HFG on Kick Ridge.
K5HFG from W4GCM. Don, you're 59++, is he? And evidently the solar storm's working in our favor right now. I see what you mean. I've got red numbers in my little window here that indicates the solar conditions. R3G1 storm. And anyway, it's working right now. Maybe later on conditions will go to heck, but we're in good shape now. And real good on the DX60. You know, those DX60s, what a good rig. They had a good CW note, fine CW rig, and you hear a lot of them on AM still. Yeah, they really can make some decent AM and can be used with any kind of amp without fear of blowing it up. I like the old DX60. Let's see. Oh boy, let me get my gain control turned back. Okay, I'm ready. How you doing tonight, Daniel? KW4TV from W4GCM.
W4GCM, KW4TV. Good evening, Art. You're doing a great job as always. We always enjoy you and your net control. I'm on the Johnson 500 tonight, trying to get it adjusted right and get it working. And I'm on the R390 receiver, which seems to be doing a pretty good job. I guess you was talking about my first AM radio. Well, it might have been way back in CB, but we'll skip that and come up to the current time. And I was asking Frank, N4XAE, about AM, and he went to telling me about John, VZS. I hadn't met John at the time. So he introduced me, and the rest is history. I got a room full of AM radios and plenty of work for John to do. I guess my first one was a B&W 5100. But anyway, Art, I have really enjoyed AM radio and just like the family that's in here, and thank you all for putting up with me. With all that, Art, I'll turn it back over to you, W4GCM. This is KW4TV from the tallest mountain in Florida.
KW4TV from W4GCM. My sentiments are the same as yours there, Manuel. I sure like the operating style, and I appreciate the fact folks put up with me. And real neat on the word from Frank, N4XAE. I miss hearing him on. He needs to get on here and give a good accounting himself for long. And him introducing you to John and then getting the B&W 5100. The Johnson 500 and the R390. What a great setup you have evolved to there, Daniel. Good rig. And as usual, you're too loud. Glenn, how are you this evening? N4AK from W4GCM. Okay, Art.
W4GCM in the net. November 4 Alpha Kilo. Copying everybody very well. This little QFB. My first AM rig was a TX35, and that's the first kit I put together, and a SX25, and then I graduated to a HQ110 and a Heathkit Apache. So it was a lot of fun. That year was 1958, plus or minus. So anyway, 43 degrees in Sunset, clear weather. Back to you. W4GCM, November 4 Alpha Kilo.
N4AK, W4GCM. Well, it's 58 down here. We think that's real cold, man. 33. My goodness. We'll bundle up there. Stoke up the fire. And we're finding the DX35 and SX25. Nice start. And then the classic rig HQ170 and Apache. That's first class, 1958. Leon, good to hear you tonight. Thanks for joining us. Chuck, over to you. N4OYT from W4GCM.
W4GCM, N4OYT. Good evening, Art. You got a beautiful signal over here on the west banks of the River Styx. It's about 20 miles west of Savannah, Georgia. I'm just sitting back and enjoying watching and listening to all those beautiful AM signals. Don't have much of a voice for AM communications. I'm not long-winded enough. I do enjoy listening to them. I'm running a Flex radio, old Flex 3000, and a solid-state 10-take amplifier, the Hercules 2. And I don't remember what my first AM radio was, but it was probably a CB radio. But my first good taste of radio communications was in Vietnam, and I got the bug for it. So I've been playing with radio ever since. Got a pile of junk. I need to start getting rid of it. Anyway, great evening, and I'm going to sit back and listen to the rest of them. N4OYT, back to net.
N4OYT from W4GCM. A pile of junk. Well, I'll just say this. I used to have a garage. Now I've got a garage full of boat anchors. And I'm good with that. And real good about the exposure to communications, Vietnam, and going from there. Real good on the Flex 3000. It sounds good. I'm a big fan of the SDR rigs. I'm running one here. It's a Flex 5000. And I got it a few years ago at a Hamfest to see what this digital stuff was like, and I've really fallen in love with it. It does such a good job on AM and the receiver in particular. It's good to have you checking in from near Savannah, Chuck. Thanks for being here tonight. And yeah, I enjoy listening to these stories from all these folks. And some of these stories are actually true, so just keep that in mind. Let's see. Brandon, how are you this evening? W4GUZ from W4GCM.
Hey, Art. You're sounding good up here tonight. I listen to you just about every morning while I'm sitting in the back cave at work at the 911 center, but and we've got a radio there. I've got a Yaesu 991 that sounds okay on AM, but I usually just sit back and listen. And on my days off, I don't get up until it's time for the late bunch, the over the hill games. I usually hear you and Joe and everybody signing off. So, but man, good strong signal. I'm listening on a ESPY R366 Navy receiver. No idea what kind of signal I'm getting on you, but there's no static in the background when you're keyed up. It's 33 degrees. I think it was 43 in Sunset. I hope. It's 33 down there. Something's wrong with my thermometer, but 33 degrees here. It's been a beautiful day. Spent all day outside busting wood, cutting wood, logs, busting wood and stacking wood. So I have an aching back. Plan on hopefully enjoying tomorrow without too much laborious activities. But anyway, I've been a ham nowhere near as long as most of you fellas. I'm 45 years old. I've been a ham since 95, I think. 94, 95, I'm not sure. But my first true, and I was a kid that didn't play sports. Played in a band, played with Legos, and talked on the CB when I was a kid. I had a buddy. Dad bought me a handheld CB radio, a realistic, I think, and I heard this guy by the name of Red Fox. So my grandpa took me over one day, and I met him, and he put me to work mowing and weed eating the yards, and every time I went over, I put a little tick mark on a piece of paper hanging in his shack there, and finally I got the rig of my dreams. But that was a long time ago. My first true rig was the People's Radio Ranger 1. And a HQ 140, and very shortly after that I ended up with HQ 180, but I use the 140 more than I do the 180. I don't do much sideband listening, so the 140 sounds a little bit better to my ears. Anyway, I guess I moved up in the world on the KW1 serial number 23 tonight. And like I said, listening on the SB, which is a true boat anchor. It's huge. Good evening to all the mullets. Sam, I can't make it, but if I had an airplane, I'd be there. Hope you have a big time coming up. Back to you, Art, and good evening. W4GCM, W4GUZ.
W4GUZ from W4GCM. Brandon, very interesting on your radios, and well, just counting in my head real fast, you got a early start. You were, I think, a pretty young teenager there when you first got introduced to radio, and you started off well with that Ranger 1 and HQ 140. But you certainly have come up in the world with that KW1. It sounds just great. We do enjoy getting on early in the morning, and I'm glad you got you an FT 991. You listen on at work. Well, my 2 cents worth is, after all that hard work today cutting up wood, I think I'd just lay back real soon and start stacking Z's. Thanks for being with us tonight, Brandon. You have a good night. Let's see. All right, I'm not sure if I got this right or not. Is it Dave W4IIA from W4GCM?
Yeah, it might be WA4II. I don't know.
I believe that's it. I'm sorry. WA4II from W4GCM. How are you tonight?
W4GCM, and then this is WA4II.
Well, doing pretty good for an old man, and let's see. My first, it's kind of hard to say what my first one was because it's been so long ago. My first AM rig, I had a 1960, I had a Globe Scout, I had a Heathkit DX100, I had a Johnson Ranger, and Heathkit Apache, and I honestly can't tell you which one was first, but my novice station, which I couldn't operate the voice on it, was a Johnson Ranger with a Helicopter's SH-111 receiver, and then I got a National NC-270 receiver, and I'm being honest, I don't know which one I got first, but to operate legally on the ham bands, I'm going to say a Johnson Ranger. Don't have anything much to add. I'm on the old trusty Valiant tonight with the 51J4 receiver, and that's the story of my life. Thanks for picking me up. Everybody's sounding fine tonight. W4GCM, this is WA4II. Back to that.
WA4II, W4GCM. Well, I got to fess up here. I can't remember your name. Would you pass that along again?
The name is Greg. John Romeo Echo, where Gregory, not to be confused with Gregory Peck, but that's my name. Over.
Okay, Greg. I got you. The way my logging program, if I enter the wrong call, it comes up with all kind of stuff, and I can't correct it. I just have to erase and correct everything later. So, yeah, I hadn't worked you enough for your name to be ingrained in my brain yet. But anyway, that's you got a mighty good start too, and nice to hear that Valiant and the 51J4. Well, here's somebody that's had a lot of radios. Let me get it down to you, Kevin. And what were you tweaking on earlier? It sounded real good. WA4KM from W4GCM.
Yeah, W4GCM and the group. This is WA4KM. Good evening, Art. I'm on the Flex 6600, the one with the 4 receivers, remote and all that. I've not set it up on AM. Brandon and Sam and them and Dr. John was helping with the EQ. This is where we finished up before the net got started. Hope it sounds all right. I was hitting it hard on the mic gain, so I cut it back. And I somehow got up on like 68. I got it on back on, I think, on 50 now. And we added some, highs and lows. I hope it sounds okay. I know it's not my normal radio, but I hope it's close. But I'll get out here and tweak it with some guys or on the SDR. But I don't hardly ever use this one at all except for remote operations. Yeah, it's the Flex 6600. Not the M, the one with the computer. I like the computer with my big monitor. And I'm on the QRO running 304 watts and doing right at legal limit. So QRO's just sitting here clicking along. So I hope I didn't cut the audio back too far, but I think it took some of that raspiness out. The first radio I had, actually AM's technically 11 meters, was a realistic 433, but kind of a trick question. It was AM, but that was way back when actually Citizen Band and that was in 1977 or 8. Technically, we had a license and band before it became the, I guess, outlaw band, if you want to call it that. Of course, this day and time, CB's not as bad as some of the people on ham. I hate to say it, but it's true. Don't insult the CBers anymore. Some of those are better operators than hams. It's sad on some of the side of them. But anyway, the first one I've got was a Viking 2, and I still have it. Out of all the radios I've had over the years, and many, I've got it still here. It was my first one. And Andy Howard helped me with it, and a guy named Greg, KX4R. I don't know if y'all remember Greg. I know Sam and them do. We put a modulator transformer and done a whole bunch of work to it. And I still have that. It's my first radio, and I'll keep it forever. And I had a Hamlin HQ170, which I still have it as well. And they both look new, and they work fantastic. And I had a 129 also, but those are my first two, and I still have them to this day. All righty, Art, thanks for calling that, and you sound good. I agree. The Flex, now the receiver on this versus the 5000, I've got two 5000s. The receiver is better on these. It's got 4, and you can remote it and all that, but I still, and I'll go out on a limb and say it, I still like the 5000 better. Just me. It's an older, tried and true. These newer ones, you know, don't let somebody tell you that just because they cost a whole lot more, they're better, and I don't think so. The receiver may be, but all around, I like the 5000 better. Just my 2 cents. I don't need no email. People are going to get on me. But anyway, there's a no-buzzer transmission. I hadn't had a QRO on in about a year. I almost said N4JK. Art, good to hear you. Hope you and Miss K have a good Merry Christmas and everyone else. God bless out there. And back to you, W4GCM and the Mullets. This is WA4KM and the City of Gold. And I hope the audio's pretty close or okay.
WA4KM from W4GCM. It's pretty good, Kevin. I'm just looking at the wave or spectrum. You're out about 6-8 kilohertz. Plenty of energy out there. So the tweaks and the high frequencies have worked. And it's nice. So, yeah, put it on here more often. It's doing a good job for you. I do remember Greg, KX4R. Nice fella. Matter of fact, I had reason to call him a few months ago. He's still around, but we really didn't talk about operating activity. But, he's one of the early AMers here when things got cranked back up in the 90s. And yeah, I won't comment any more and move on down the list. Let me wish you and your family a Merry Christmas, and thanks for joining us tonight. Now here's something. We get to hear from Roy on his peanut whistle. W4IDD from W4GCM.
All right, thank you, Art. Good evening to you and everybody out there this afternoon, this evening. Everybody's sounding good, and there you go. Well, I'm running Miss Daisy May this evening, the BMW 5100, the B model. B stands for beautiful. An NC300 receiver, a pair of 813s, and a B&W amplifier, and a few little accessories. So there you go. That's the story here. Well, my first rig, Art, was a sideband rig. In 1971, I got my ticket. Bought a brand new Yaesu 101 EX model, LTEX model, and run that for a while. I didn't get into AM till later in my career as a ham operator, so I fooled around with a little bit of everything. That's the reason I can tell you folks this evening that you can't get no better than AM. It just ain't in there. The audio quality, the signal strength, and all that is the best there is. So that's it from here. That's my opinion on it. That's only my opinion. But anyway, as Miss Minnie Pearl used to say on the Grand Ole Opry, howdy, I'm just so proud to be here. And I really am this evening. It's good to be alive. I'm 79 years old. And there's a few on here that's older than I am, but not many. And been around the horn a few times. And so there you go. I'm left a little bit mentally ill and disturbed and all that good stuff. But anyway, it's good to be a part of the program this evening. Art, you're doing a wonderful job with the net. It's always something I look forward to is checking in with you when you have net control operator. Well, let's see. I'll close, I guess, Art, with this little statement. I hope everybody out there in Radio Land feels as good as I look this evening. And Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. I might not get a chance to say that again, so I'm saying it right now. Back to you, Art, from W4, I diddle Pensacola.
W4 IDD from W4 GCM. Well said there, Roy. You know, this business about being mentally ill and disturbed, I think that comes with playing in rock and roll bands. I've got some of that. And I tell you what, I sure do enjoy playing with you from time to time. Roy, 79, well, the way I hear it, you've got the wisdom. It comes with age. And that's, we need someone with that in here. USUFT 101. Those be good AM, and there's still a few of them around. So, anyway, thank you for the good words from Minnie Pearl. You have a Merry Christmas, and 73 for now. Let's see, who we got next? Oh, Virgil, W4 OLJ from W4 GCM.
W4 GCM and Annette. This is W4 OLJ. Okay, Art. Well, the band is in good shape tonight. Sounding good up here. Everybody sounds good. There's a little QSB on about everybody, but it's not hurting anything. Well, my first rig was a Lisco or a Lisco, a little rig with an 807 in the final. It was a CW rig. I got it in 1956 when I got my novice license. And then a year later, about a year later, I got my general ticket and I built me up a set of modulators for it, a pair of 6L6s in push-pull, and used that for a while. And then I got a Hallicrafters HT20 and used it a long time there. I never did work much sideband, a little 20-meter sideband back in the 70s, but for the most part I've been on AM since 1957. And I still got that Lisco sitting over here. I had it and a Hammerlin HQ120. Still got both of them. And John, VZS, he was talking about the SCR 522. I've got one of those. I never did use very much surplus stuff, but my dad had one. I've still got it. And I've got 3 or 4 of those old APX6s that he used to use on 1296. He built up a little set of modulators in those things and run those on AM. He started out back in 1934 and operated until 94, I guess it was, when he passed away. So anyway, that's the story here. We're running the 41000 rig tonight with 75A4. It's been fun listening to all these stories about the old rigs and everything. I really enjoy that. So back to you, Art. You're doing a great job, and Merry Christmas to everybody. I'll go ahead and tell everybody like Roy did there, because we never know. Back to you, and thanks a lot. W4GCM, W4OLJ in Sweetwater.
W4OLJ from W4GCM. Real good there, Virgil. That Lychco is a rare rig. I've seen pictures of them, but I've never actually seen one in person. And the HT20, I think, falls in that category too. You don't run into too many of those. You've had a chance to play with some really neat stuff. And sounded like your dad was an active ham for 60 years. Man, that's neat. And he set a fine example, I'll just say that. Well, 41000 sure is sounding good tonight. It's good hearing you in here. Thanks for joining us. Let's see. Let's get some words of wisdom from Richard. WA4FUU from W4GCM.
I so enjoy listening to everybody talk about their history in amateur radio, and tonight is no exception. I could listen to this for quite some time. I don't have much of an illustrious career as Roy would say. I started out in 1973, and I was on HCW, and then came up to Finance. I actually didn't get into AM radio until about, probably about 10 years ago. And that was through the origin of Harold, W4PQW, and Louis, WA4VCB, and John, K4VZF. Those guys really got me into AM. And at that time, I went out and pursued a pair of Drake equipment, because I told Drake when I worked at Drake Electronics. And so I've got two pair of R4B, and I've got a TR4 Charlie as well. I just like the Drake equipment and the way it operated. It was reliable. And I don't have a great deal of space or any, so I have limitations on the size of the equipment that I can harbor in my shack. And that's what I got from an AM perspective. The AM folks are far different than anybody else. They're friendly, congenial, help you in a minute, and that's the best part of amateur radio. So I'm going to turn it back to you. I'm trying to look at my notes and see if there's anything else I want to mention. But I don't think that there is. I do want to say that I hope that everybody has a very Merry Christmas. And please remember the reason for the season. And I'm going to pass it back to you, Art. And thanks for all that you do. And I'm glad that Kate is doing so much better. W4GCM from WA4FU, Richard in Pensacola.
WA4FU from W4GCM. First, I'll start off with your end comment. A Merry Christmas to you and to yours there, Richard. And unrelated, mostly, if you want another one of those IC7300 notes, me and Kate can put something together for you. You sure helped me out. I'm enjoying mine. Real good on the Drake lines that you've had. Those are so pretty. I've always admired those. And you have done some real good work with those on AM and sideband. And I'm glad to hear you mention the good influences of W4PQW, WA4VCB, and K4VZS. All that good advice took. Anyway, thanks for being here tonight. Richard, let's get it over to John, W4TP from W4GCM.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. W4TP. Good to have you with us tonight. Sir Arthur, he's a venerable member of the Red Eye Knights. So he's doing a good job tonight on the net, Arthur. And please check Billy in, KO4SSY, put him down. He is mobile, been out getting more ham gear. You can't shut him down. So he made a trip somewhere today and buying more gear. So if I had his money, you know. And let's see, in the beginning, 6 meters, Lafayette HE45B, Clegg 99er, and Laughing Idiot HA460, which I still got over here, I think. And then on HF, 75 meters is what I started out on, and it's an ARC 5. And the first kit that I got to put together was a Heathkit AR3. Wasn't much to it, but I listened to Radio Australia on that thing early mornings before I went to school. And it was either that or Country Boy Eddie in Birmingham, and I'd rather listen to water underneath the bridge before I had to listen to that. But I got to listen to that whether I liked it or not. So if you hadn't heard Country Boy Eddie, man, you're in for a real treat. Let's see. I think that's all that I got my notes here. And Art, we appreciate you doing the net tonight, and you're doing a great job as usual. And let me say Merry Christmas to everybody on here early. And we will be having, if all goes well, the Christmas edition of the Gulf Coast Mullet Net next Thursday. So please check in with us. Back to you, Art, member of the Red Eye Knights, W4GCM, W4TP.
W4TP from W4GCM. Red Eye Knights. I have a feeling that's kind of a dubious honor, but I'll take it. I don't care. John, you sounded real good tonight. And starting out with an HE45, I know what that is. Used to work a lot of those. And ARC 5 and AR3. This brings back my SWL days. I had a Telecrafter Sky Buddy, and listened to the Radio Moscow and Fana and Voice of America and Radio Australia. And then I found people talking and making sense, and they were hams to dive me in a little further. But that's a subject for another time. Sorry for rattling. John, thanks for being here tonight. You're sounding good. Over to, forgot the name. I'm so sorry. Thinking it's Steve. WA4KKJ from W4GCM. Was there something like that? WA4KKJ, W4GCM.
Greg. Hey, good evening, Art. W4GCM, WB4KKJ. Got a great signal into Pace 4 tonight there, Art. Sounding good. Audio is perfect there. Frank in for